I should respect her way more. I made bad decisions as a man, like stepping out. That's why when she left, I had to take that on the chin.
Offset is not wanting to accept the $10 million from Cardi B. He's asking for half of her net worth.
Reports are flying that Offset just turned down a jaw-dropping $10 million divorce settlement from Cardi B, and everyone's losing their minds over it. Sources say Offset rejected the deal because he claims he built Cardi's empire and deserves half of everything she's earned. Can you imagine? Now here's where it gets even crazier. The same man who allegedly owes the IRS over $2 million in back taxes is demanding a 50-50 cut of Cardi's fortune. Like, sir, make it make sense.
Whether Cardi B would have married that man or not, she was still gonna have the same level of success that she got today. The people who say and think that Offset made Cardi B, I don't know how y'all think that. Cardi B had her own popularity from Instagram. She got on Love and Hip Hop, gained more popularity, promoted her music. Cardi B got hot off of her first mixtape. Whatever that mixtape album is, where she's sitting in the back of a car drinking a 40-ounce, that mixtape. That is the mixtape that Cardi B became popular off of. She had her popularity and was on her way up before she even met Offset.
People online are calling this move wild. Some say he's delusional. Others think maybe he really did help shape her come up behind the scenes. Still, most fans are convinced Offset's just trying to get a bigger piece of the pie before walking away for good. Cardi's team, though, isn't staying quiet. Insiders say they're ready to unleash receipts, proof that she built her entire career from the ground up without needing Offset's help. They're talking studio sessions, business contracts, brand deals, everything that shows she made it on her own. And when those documents drop, it could shut down his whole argument in one blow. The internet split. Some folks are riding for Offset, saying he did stand by her early on and maybe deserves a little credit. But others are dragging him for trying to cash in on Cardi's grind after years of cheating rumors and public drama. The nerve of turning down $10 million while drowning in debt has fans shaking their heads in disbelief. This might just be one of the messiest celebrity breakups we've seen in years, full of pride, money, and pure chaos. Let's break down exactly what Offset walked away from and why he thinks he's entitled to more. So let's talk about whether Offset actually has any legal ground to stand on, because this story just keeps getting wilder. Reports say Cardi B offered him a $10 million settlement to wrap up their divorce and move on with their lives peacefully. $10 million. That's not pocket change. That's generational wealth for most people. Anyone else would have taken that deal and disappeared into luxury for good, but Offset, nope. He allegedly looked at that offer and basically said, that's not enough. Can you believe that? Sources close to him claim he feels used, saying he's not just Cardi's ex, he's part of the reason she became the superstar she is today. He's supposedly insisting that he played a major role in building her brand from the ground up, claiming he supported her through the rise and contributed to her success in ways that deserve serious financial credit. Apparently, Offset isn't interested in walking away with a lump sum. He wants half of everything Cardi's built since they got together. One insider even claimed Offset said, "I built that brand with her, now I want my cut." That quote alone has the internet on fire. Fans and legal experts are debating whether he's got a real argument or if he's just overplaying his hand. The big question now is this: what exactly did Offset do to build Cardi's empire? Was he truly a behind-the-scenes force helping her navigate fame and business moves? Or was he simply along for the ride while Cardi did all the heavy lifting herself? The answers could make or break his case and his reputation. Now, the real question everyone's asking: did Offset actually contribute to Cardi's rise, or is he just confusing being around her success with creating it? People online are debating this nonstop, and Cardi's team is reportedly locked and loaded with receipts to set the record straight. They're ready to prove once and for all that Offset's "I built her" brand claim is nothing but smoke and ego. Let's be honest, That statement is bold, almost shocking, but when you actually look at the timeline of their relationship versus Cardi's career, the facts just don't line up with his story. Before Offset ever came into the picture, Cardi B was already blowing up all on her own. She went viral on Instagram with her raw, hilarious videos that fans couldn't get enough of. Her confidence, her hustle, her unfiltered personality made her impossible to ignore. Then she jumped into reality TV with Love and Hip Hop, New York, and that's where her fan base exploded. She wasn't some background character. People tuned in just to see her energy, her honesty, and her wild sense of humor. By the time she and Offset started dating publicly in 2017, Cardi wasn't up next. She was already the one to watch. And then came Bodak Yellow. Dropping in June 2017, that track didn't just top charts, it changed the game. It became a full-on anthem, a cultural moment that cemented her as a superstar and a household name. Cardi went from internet fame to rap royalty overnight, and all of that happened before Offset could ever claim he built anything. Cardi B didn't just make history, she shattered it. She became the first female rapper to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 as a solo artist since Lauryn Hill in 1998. That's nearly 2 decades apart. That's not luck. That's pure talent, non-stop hustle, and a real bond with her audience that no one could fake. Offset didn't write Bodak Yellow, he didn't produce it. And he definitely wasn't the one pulling all-nighters in the studio or promoting it like her life depended on it. Cardi did that. After that legendary hit, Cardi didn't slow down for a second. She dropped her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, in 2018, and it was a total takeover. The album was a massive commercial and critical success, breaking records left and right. She even snatched a Grammy, proving that her place at the top wasn't just hype, it was earned. Every track, every verse, every performance was dripping with her personality and power. This was Cardi's art, her pen, her voice, her vision. Sure, Offset was around, maybe cheering her on, showing up at events or posting her on social media. But let's be real, support doesn't equal ownership. Standing next to someone successful doesn't mean you built their empire. Cardi's grind speaks for itself, and she's never needed anyone to validate that. Now, Offset might say he helped with collaborations, public appearances, or boosted her profile by being half of a high-profile couple. And yeah, their relationship did bring them both headlines. The media ate up every red carpet moment and public kiss, but that kind of attention doesn't build a brand. Cardi's talent did, and the receipts to prove it are louder than any claim Offset can make. Celebrity couples definitely benefit from that shared spotlight, and Cardi and Offset were no exception. When they stepped out together, the cameras flashed nonstop, and every move they made turned into headlines. But here's the truth. Offset wasn't some unknown artist riding Cardi's fame. He was already popping off as part of Migos, one of the biggest rap groups in the game at the time. He had hits, fans, and a name before Cardi ever came into the picture. So if anything, their relationship boosted both of their profiles. It was mutual publicity, not some one-sided fame grab. Let's be clear, and Cardi didn't need Offset to become a superstar. She was already climbing the charts, building her empire, and making her mark before things even got serious between them. When they did collaborate, like on their fiery hit Clout, it wasn't Offset helping her blow up, it was two powerhouses teaming up. And those songs were business, plain and simple. Both artists got paid, both got credit, but that doesn't give Offset any claim over Cardi's entire brand or money from projects he wasn't part of. Cardi's career is layered with success stories that have nothing to do with Offset. She's teamed up with top producers, designers, and major brands, from hit records to million-dollar fashion deals. She's turned her name into a business empire that stretches far beyond music, and she earned it all through her own hustle and vision. So when Offset tries to act like he's the mastermind behind it all, fans see it for what it is, a reach. To say he's responsible for Cardi's entire rise isn't just wrong, it's downright disrespectful to the years of work she's put in. Cardi built herself from the ground up, no cosign, no shortcuts, just grind and greatness. There's another twist to this messy situation, and it makes Offset's demands look even more questionable. Word is he's still got that massive $2 million debt hanging over his head from unpaid IRS taxes. And it's been haunting him for a while now. That's not pocket change. That's serious money, and it's a legal obligation he can't dodge. So let's do the math. If Offset had accepted Cardi's $10 million divorce settlement, the IRS would have snatched up at least $2 million of that right off the top. He'd be left with about $8 million, which is still a fortune by most standards, but definitely less than what was on the table. And this might be the real reason he's holding out for more. People are whispering that Offset isn't just fighting for what he deserves, and he's trying to make sure he walks away with as much as possible after Uncle Sam gets his cut. But here's where that logic completely falls apart. Offset's tax problems are his own doing, not Cardi's. His back taxes didn't just appear out of nowhere. They're the result of his financial choices and his money management or lack thereof. So why should Cardi have to pay more just to cover his mistakes? Fans are calling that move greedy, saying he's trying to use the divorce to clean up his personal mess. And honestly, they've got a point. Cardi's offer was more than fair, especially considering she's the one sitting on the bigger empire. Expecting her to shell out extra cash just because he can't get his finances together, that's wild. At the end of the day, Offset's debt belongs to Offset, and dragging Cardi into that isn't just unfair, it's downright messy. That's not how divorce law works, and everyone knows it. Offset's tax drama is his problem, not Cardi's, and it's definitely not fair for him to drag her into it. Cardi has been handling her money like a pro, staying on top of her taxes, managing her business, and keeping her empire clean and legit. So watching Offset try to twist the narrative is wild, and Cardi's not having it. She's already made it clear, loud and clear, during her fiery Twitter Spaces rants that she's done playing nice. Cardi said Offset is trying to hold their divorce hostage, refusing to sign the papers unless she pays his IRS debt and gives him one of her properties. Can you believe the nerve? Fans were stunned when she dropped those claims, saying she's been legally separated for months and ready to move on with her life, but Offset's demands are keeping everything stuck in limbo. Cardi didn't hold back either. She said straight up that she's willing to fight for her money and her assets because she worked hard for every dollar she's earned. She's not about to let anyone, not even her ex, swoop in and snatch what she built from scratch. Her message was clear. Marriage doesn't mean she owes him half of everything. And now, reports say her legal team is gearing up for a full-on courtroom showdown. They're reportedly preparing to drop receipts that could completely shut down Offset's claims. We're talking detailed financial records proving her income before and during the marriage, plus contracts, brand deals, and testimonies from the people who actually helped build her career. Cardi looks ready to bring the facts, not feelings. And when those receipts hit the court, it might finally expose who really built the empire and who's just trying to cash in. All that evidence Cardi's legal team is gathering could paint a crystal clear picture that her success is 100% her own, and whatever Offset contributed was minimal at best. Legally, he might be entitled to a small share of assets gained during their marriage, depending on what's written in their prenup, but claiming he deserves half of everything because he built her brand, that's a wild stretch. Most experts agree that argument won't hold up in court for a second. So where does that leave things now? Offset has officially turned down $10 million, claiming it's not enough and insisting he deserves a full half of Cardi B's empire. Meanwhile, Cardi's camp is standing firm, preparing to roll out hard proof that she built her legacy entirely on her own, through talent, hustle, and smart business moves. They're ready to prove that every milestone she's hit came from her grind, not his guidance. And let's not forget, Offset's still drowning in over $2 million of IRS debt, which fans believe is a huge reason behind his sudden push for a bigger payout. Many think he's not fighting for fairness. He's just trying to get enough cash to clean up his mess. But Cardi, she's made it loud and clear that she's not paying his debts or giving up any of her properties just to get out of this marriage. She's standing her ground and ready to fight it out in court if she has to. At this point, this divorce isn't just messy, it's turning into a high-stakes showdown. Both sides are gearing up for a long, drawn-out legal battle, and all eyes are on them. But based on everything we've seen so far, Offset's claim that he built Cardi's brand looks weaker by the day, and it might just collapse completely once those receipts hit the courtroom. Just because you're someone's partner doesn't mean you get credit for their success, and that's exactly what people are saying about Offset's wild demands. Being around during Cardi's rise doesn't magically make him entitled to half of her fortune. Cardi B was already shining before Offset ever became a main part of her life, and trust, she's going to keep shining long after this divorce is over. Let's be real, Cardi has built an unstoppable brand that stands on her name, her work, and her energy. Offset might have shared the spotlight for a while, but that doesn't mean he gets to rewrite history and claim ownership of her grind. Fans are saying it loud, Cardi made Cardi, period. Now the big question is, will Offset ever wake up and accept a reasonable settlement? Or is he really about to drag this whole thing through court just to end up with less than what he was offered in the first place? Because if he keeps pushing, he might fumble that entire $10 million deal and walk away looking both broke and bitter. Either way, one thing's clear, Cardi's not backing down. She's ready for the fight, ready to protect her money, and ready to remind everyone that her success belongs to her alone. So what do you think? Does Offset actually have a real claim to Cardi's success, or is he completely out of line for turning down that $10 million check? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button, and subscribe for the next explosive update in this wild celebrity divorce showdown.